Hello everyone, it's SpawnPoiint and today we are checking out ROG's brand new gaming glasses, the ROG XREAL R1. And I'm going to show you what it's like for gaming at up to 171 inches. So these have micro-OLED displays, a 240Hz refresh rate, 0.01 millisecond response time, and will work on your PS5, Xbox Series, handhelds, PC, in fact almost anything that connects via USB-C or HDMI. Now I'm going to get these unboxed, then I'm going to show you everything that they can do. I have also linked to them down below if you want to check them out, and thanks to ASUS for sending them out so I could make today's video. Okay, so first up, here's the box that they come in. We've got this stealthy looking design with the ROG R1 branding on the front, but then if we open this up, we have another box inside containing the glasses themselves. And then if we open that box up, there's a nice little carry case with the ROG logo on the top. And of course, this is where we can store everything away once we're done. There's a little pouch containing a cleaning cloth, extra nose pads to get the right fit, a lens template if you need to use these for prescription glasses, and some paperwork that we're probably never going to read. And under here there's another compartment that contains the dock, and this is what we'll use to connect those wired devices like the PS5 or your PC. There are also two USB-A to USB-C cables for the dock, so we should be good to go apart from an HDMI cable. Right, now let's take a closer look at the glasses. So to me, these immediately look futuristic and something like we'd see in Cyberpunk. And I love the fact that they are all black and a little bit stealthy looking as well, with this thin frame surrounding it completely, which feels like it's made from plastic, although it looks metal. And if you look at the front here, there's no branding or logos at all, which is cool. And if we turn this around, the frame is quite chunky overall, and I would say it looks more like a pair of gaming glasses from the side than a pair of regular glasses, so nothing quite like the Meta, for example. But of course, these will do so much more than those. It has some subtle branding around here too for things like ROG and XREAL, and some little LEDs on the side that you can customize in the settings, as well as a few buttons. So there's a quick button that you can use to switch on and off the transparent mode, the menu button for swapping between anchor and follow mode, opening the main menu or centering the virtual screen, as well as a plus and minus buttons for navigating the menus or adjusting your volume. There's also some little speakers built in which are actually sound by Bose, so these should sound good. As for the screens, this is where things get interesting, because inside it comes with two tiny micro-OLED displays that measure just over ½ an inch each. These really are tiny, but because they are so close to your eyes, they're able to scale up to the equivalent of 171 inches. Now, as mentioned, these are micro-OLED displays, so straight away I can see how clear and sharp the image is, even before we test out that 240Hz refresh rate, as right now it's running at 120Hz. Now, the resolution only measures 1920 by 1080, which sounds pretty low, but honestly, they look way sharper. I know when it comes to TVs or monitors, we normally look at the PPI or the pixel per inch, but it's not quite the same with glasses like this. So here I'm showing you what my room looks like with the main menu up. I've got the overlay here in the middle, but you can also see my room and surroundings through the screen or through the glasses themselves. Now, unfortunately, I am trying to capture this using my iPhone, so the quality is nowhere near as good as what it looks like in real life. And also bearing in mind, we have one screen per eye to look at, so the quality is even better. And then because this is not a VR headset, it acts like an external display to my PC or my Ally, and that means that everything that I would normally see on my monitor or TV is displayed on these little screens. So it means it sort of looks and acts like a floating display that you can either lock into place or move it around. And talking about locking it into place, there's a really cool feature here called anchor mode or follow mode, and that's because it uses native 3DoF. So anchor mode does exactly what you would expect. You can lock the screen in place so it acts and looks like a real screen in your room. So you can look around and tilt your head and it won't move from where you placed it. Or of course you can use the follow mode, and this will keep the virtual screen in the middle of your vision when you move around. Now of course which one you choose completely depends on how you would rather use it. But let's be honest, it's the gaming is where it's really at, and these things are nuts, honestly. So I'm going to start by using the braided USB-C cable that comes inside the carry case and plug that into my ROG Ally, and then the other end of it goes into the port on the side of the glasses. This cable will then power the glasses and send the audio and video with one USB-C cable. But just to note, these glasses do not have a battery built in, so you will need to use it connected to something else in order for it to work. But damn, the first time I put these on, it looks absolutely unreal. But guys, it's going to be really difficult to show you what I'm seeing. So I'm either going to use an overlay on screen, kind of like a fake mock-up, or I'm going to use my iPhone to record it as best as I can. But just to give you an idea, this is a 45-inch screen that I have on my desk. And then the screen that I can see through the glasses is massive. It's literally taken my entire desk setup and it looks huge. If I had to guess, I would say this is something like a 70-inch if comparing it to my 45-inch screen. Maybe even bigger. And then just for comparison, here's what it looks like compared to my 77-inch TV in the living room. And this thing just swamps that as well. It makes my TV look tiny. And this feels like it was made to be used with the ROG Ally or the Xbox Ally, as you're getting the same portable gaming experience but with this huge screen in your room. Now, the video that you're watching from me today is captured at 60 FPS. You're not going to appreciate how smooth this thing can be, but these glasses do go up to 240 Hz with a 0.0 millisecond response time. That is gaming monitor territory right there. Now, by default, these are running at 120 Hz, which, let's face it, is more than enough for most games that we play. But if you do want to make use of the 240 Hz, it will drop the vertical resolution down to 540p, and then it upscales it again to 1080p. Now, I would say this is probably ideal for games like Call of Duty or Apex, but it just means there will be a trade-off to have that faster screen. Now, I would personally say that 120 Hz is definitely enough. Now, if you do think the screen is too big, well, fortunately, you can change this. So it does go up to 171 inches if you've got a 4-meter space, or you can scale it down to whatever you need, like 128 inches, 86, 43, and so on. So if you were wanting to use it while sitting on a plane or in bed at home, you can just change the display size and how far away you want that virtual screen from you. So that's how it looks on the Ally and the Xbox Ally, but what about the PC or console gaming? Well, that's where the control dock comes in. So this simply sits on your desk and lets you plug in up to 2 HDMI 2.0s, a DisplayPort 1.4 and a USB-C cable. And the other port here is for powering it. Then around the front, there's another USB-C port, and that's for connecting it up to your glasses. It's got a few controls on the top as well, and this is for things like the power button and your frame rate boost. And then there's a little joystick in the middle that does things like accessing the menu or swapping between the anchor or the follow modes. So I've gone ahead and connected this to my PC, and it now means instead of the 45-inch monitor on my desk, I've got this huge virtual monitor instead. So it now means I can jump into any games I have on my PC and it will act like a normal external display. I can adjust the size and the distance from me, even the aspect ratio. And I'll tell you now, once I've played for a few minutes, it just feels like a normal screen. And the great thing is, if you want even more immersion, we've got the dimming levels, or the electrochromic dimming tech as it's called. So this lets you dim the real world around you so the screen appears brighter, and there are actually 3 levels that you can adjust between. Of course, on top of gaming, you could use this as a movie screen. So instead of having a 100-inch TV in your setup, you could sit back with a pair of these on instead. You could simply hook them up to your phone, your laptop, and you've got this massive cinema screen experience, which is pretty cool. Now, it does support HDR2, where it will take an incoming HDR signal and convert that into SDR. So it won't natively show HDR in the glasses, but it will receive it. Now, I reckon most of you will probably use this with a handheld console or a handheld PC, but you could actually plug in your phone and use it for that instead. So I went ahead and tested this with my iPhone 17 Pro Max, and it was literally just plug and play. The glasses recognized it straight away, and I was able to watch YouTube and use my phone directly on the glasses. I did mention earlier that it does have speakers built in, and these are sound by Bose, so they have these tiny speakers built into the top and they are surprisingly good. Now, it does mean that you can use the glasses for gaming without needing to wear another headset or earbuds. And there are a few other features built in too, like Instant 3D, and this is a real-time 2D to 3D conversion. And you cannot have an ROG product without the Game Plus modes. So things like crosshair, timer, FPS counter and stopwatch can all be enabled on the display in your vision, as well as about 8 different display modes to pick from depending on the picture that you need. But if you've got an Ally or an Xbox Ally, you can adjust this on there instead with a new firmware update, which makes things so much easier to use. Now, when it comes to wearing and the comfort of these, it has plenty of adjustments and options, so pretty much anyone can use them. There are 3 levels of vertical tilt, so you can adjust how high you need them on your ears. The frames themselves also spring outwards and inwards. You can pinch them to your head and get a better, tighter fit. And it comes with 3 different nose pads. Now, I don't wear prescription glasses, but it also comes with an insert in the box that you can take to your opticians to have them made up. So yeah, I've had a lot of fun playing with these glasses over the last week, and I think on the whole they are pretty neat. It is definitely born to be a handheld gaming accessory in my opinion, as it's perfect for the Ally. But the fact that it has a control dock for using it on a PC or console is unreal. You can use it for gaming, watching movies, even productivity if you wanted to, all without anybody else seeing what you're watching, and you could go as big as you want. Now, I'll have links to these down below if you want to check them out, but be ready guys, because these are not cheap. These glasses are, instead of buying a TV or a monitor, coming in at £750 or $850. That is a lot. But let me know what you guys think and drop a huge screen in the comments, and I'll give you a thumbs up for staying right till the end. And if you did enjoy today's video, check out this video next. Well, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and follow me everywhere. Until next time.